got this shit knocking though.
Hello everyone, this is Jason with For Geek's Sake, and today it is August the 23rd, 2025. That means it has been 7 years since I last did a video displaying mobile hotspot routers, LTE routers, or whatever you want to call them, which one's the best, which one you should get. Back then, we had very few options. It was not a popular thing. But now, 2025, there are tons and tons and tons of devices out there that can give you pretty good internet for your home without the traditional fiber or DSL or cable. Pretty much nowadays everything is going to fiber, but for us folks that live in the rural areas, the people that are in the country, the forgotten folks, we still have to fend for ourselves and get internet through other means, and I'm gonna give you the best ones. Before we get started, I would like to give a little bit of background of myself because I feel that's important. Nowadays on the internet, you just don't know who to trust, who to believe. I have been an IT professional for over 20 years, and that's 20 legitimate years. I've actually had a real job for that long, a single job for that long, and it is a network engineer. I've been in my profession for, like I say, 20 years, and the stuff that you see here is kind of very plain Jane to me, something I can do in my sleep almost. And I was just so happy 7 years ago to provide some useful information that over 240,000 people watched my video. I was so happy to be able to provide useful information to all those people. And some of those people became my customers, my friends. It's people I communicate with. I've helped through a lot of situations where they were in a similar situation as I was back then, where they didn't have any reliable internet, and devices like these help them get through it. And that's why I'm here again, 2025, because believe it or not, there's people out there that still do not have reliable internet. I myself am one of them. And when I say reliable, I just mean the traditional fiber, DSL cable internet. You know, these are definitely reliable, but it's just, when I say that, I just mean in the traditional sense of actual lines dug into the ground, going into your house type scenarios. A lot of us still do not have that in 2025, which is cool because LTE and LTE equipment like you see here have come a long way, and with this equipment, you don't need it. You don't need the traditional stuff. If you got it, cool, okay. But if you don't have it, these are gonna work great. All right. And again, to all my customers that I have had in the past and I still have now, I thank you. I thank you very much. I appreciate your support, and I'm just going to help you as well, because if you see this video and you have one of the older devices that I provided you or that you've gotten yourself, just know that there's new options out there. If yours is working fine, you're happy with your internet service, which you have, then by all means, keep it. But if things are going slow, or if the device is broken, mobile devices like these are portable, so they could have been damaged some kind of way, you know, there's upgrades now. So I'm just going to run through them and just kind of give you guys a brief example of them. And I'll actually do a speed test on all of them, just so we can kind of compare, contrast, and to see if there's a major difference between either of the four that you see here. Okay, so I figured I'd go a little bit in depth with each one of these routers just to give you a better explanation of its functionality and its use cases. So I'm just going to start off with the cheapest one, and that's going to be this Cuddy 1200. AC1200 to be exact. It has dual band antennas, meaning it can do 2.4 and 5.0 gigahertz simultaneously. It has 4 100 megabits per second Ethernet ports on the back, and that's the yellow ports there. It takes a nano SIM card from your cell phone provider. It has a reset button, a WPS button for password connections, and that's it. And I'm just going to zoom in so you can see. So the 4 Ethernet ports, 100 megabits per second each. You have the nano SIM card, the reset button, the WPS button for password connection, the reset hole right beside it, and then the power input. And that's all to it. And if you notice, it says on the box, capable of 150 megs download and 50 megs upload. That pretty much means it's locked at 4G. So even if you have 5G in your area, this router cannot do that. It is not capable of 5G. It doesn't have the hardware to support 5G. So the best you're gonna get, as you see, is 150 meg down, 50 meg up. So if that's a problem for you, and because you know you have 5G in your area, then this is not the device for you. And by the way, an internet connection of 150 meg is not bad. Let's be real. I mean, we're in the rural areas, remote locations, so we probably don't have 5G in these areas. I mean, it's a great idea to check with your provider to see if 5G is there. But for a lot of you, don't go and buy the most expensive, best router out there unless you're trying to future-proof yourself, because at the current moment, 4G may be the only thing in your area. So just keep that in mind before you go out and buy this big guy over here or something like that. When you're in your area, you don't even have that 5G coverage yet. But I mean, if you want to future proof, buying something like this one is a good thing. But if you're just trying to save some money and you just want to get the internet and you want to get the best you can right now, and 4G is the only thing you have in your area, then this is the guy. And also, this retails roughly from around $89 to $130, depending on where you get it from and when you get it. Okay, next we're moving on to the MoFi4500, what I would consider MoFi's flagship router. This particular device has a price point of anywhere from $300 to maybe $375 with shipping and all the fees. It's a very solid device. This is the device I have used definitely the most and recommended the most for my customers, for both business and home. It's made out of a nice metal. It's not too big. It's pretty solid. Here, just like the previous route I showed you, it has your 100 megabits per second Ethernet ports. The blue one is for a WAN, like if you had a secondary connection. In fact, we use this a lot in my line of work. This is more of a redundant failover internet connection for a lot of the offices that I support, where they may have fiber, but in case a fiber line get cut or they lose power or something like that, it'll seamlessly switch over using the WAN port to supply internet to the building. So this is more of a secondary internet connection for a lot of offices that I support. That being said, for home use or for business use, it can be a primary source as well. Like I said, with the Ethernet ports, the additional WAN port, you have a reset port, and then you have the power inlet. All right, and at the front of this unit, we have a USB port 2.0 and a standard memory card slot, standard SD memory slot for NAS, network attached stores. So if you guys are into doing like movie servers or just network attached storage to where you have a central location for your family to drop files in to share amongst each other, or this also can be used to store software updates for the router itself, or just things of that nature, you do have the options of using the USB and a micro SD card here at the front for it. I don't remember what the maximum memory size is for these, but just know that you do have the two options here in front of this particular router. On this side, I'll zoom in. This is where the SIM card goes. Now, this one takes a standard SIM. That's the bigger SIM. If you go out and purchase a SIM card kit like the 301, it would just pop out as the full card. You don't have to break it down to a nano or a micro. It takes the full card. And I'll show you a trick with those 3-in-1 SIM card kits later on. But this is it. Again, 100 meg per second. And on Wi-Fi, and guys, keep in mind, when I say it's limited to 100 meg per second on the yellow ports, that's because it's a hardware limitation. On wireless, if you're getting 200 meg LTE connection, and your best bet is to go wireless. These are limited to 100. So no matter what you do, no matter how much speed you're getting, you will only get 100 meg off of these 4. But when it comes to the wireless, whether it be the 2.4 gigahertz, I think it's a limit of 300 megabytes. 5.0 is a limit of, I think, somewhere around 900 megabits per second. So that's just one thing to keep in mind when you're doing the deployment. If you know you're not getting but 50, 60 meg per second, then you can use wireless or wired. But in some cases, wireless is better than wired. I always normally prefer wired connection because it's more stable, less latency. But in some cases where your hardware limited to 100, on the physical ports, you could have greater throughput when you connect via wireless, because like I said, by the standard, 2.4 is going to give you about 300 megabits per second, and 5.0 is going to give you about 900 megabits per second. So definitely greater than 100. So if you know you're getting better speeds than 100, and you're in a situation, again, we're in a rural scenario, we're in remote locations, so we take what we get. But in this case, if you had to choose one or the other, go with the one that's going to give you the most throughput. And if you're testing your connection and you know you have 200 meg, then go wireless, because it's going to let you utilize that. Where if you go hardwired, you're only going to get 100, because that is a hardware limitation of the device itself. And that applies to all of these that I'm going to show you. This one's a little bit more special. This one as well, the one at the back. But again, on this one, you're hardwired, you're going to be limited to 100. This one, you're going to be limited to 100. Okay. And again, price point is somewhere between 300 and 375. And if you already have this one, because I know a lot of my customers still have this MoFi4500, and you want to upgrade, like I said, this is a very good router. It is overkill just from the feature set standpoint. But if you know in your area you have 5G and you want 5G, which is a great reason to upgrade, go ahead and get this router. It's just going to cost a little bit more, but you're going to get a lot better speed. But in your area, if you don't have 5G already, if you don't have 5G yet, and this one is still working fine, there's no need to upgrade to this one. If you have 5G though, this is a considerable upgrade to get. All right, next we're moving on to more of the expensive side of things, but we're also getting into some more features, some more capabilities as well. This is the MoFi7400, or a lot of people call it the M7 Pro. Its price point is somewhere between $400 and $600. Yeah, it does vary greatly. Obviously, it depends if you do contracts and things like that. But if you like this device, reach out to me. I can definitely get you a deal on it. But just going over some of the features, it has a very nice touchscreen, pretty large. You can get to a lot of the options just using the touchscreen on the device itself. But it does have an app that you can obviously use to do more configurations. But a lot of the settings, like changing password, Wi-Fi, things like that, can actually be done natively right here on the screen using the touch screen and the selection button right here. Okay. Another thing, it has these two little slots on either side of the device right here. It slides down to expose a port for an optional external antenna. That's pretty cool, so you can get more signaling. This device is 5G capable, meaning it can support better than 4G, whereas these two could only do 4G only. This particular device right here can do 5G. So it's going to give you speeds of up to, I think, 10 gigabytes per second. But let's just bear in mind, and let's be realistic. I've never seen that on 5G network of any sort, but it is capable of that, air quotes. Over here you have the USB-C. This is for both data and charging. Data meaning you can tether it to a laptop to give internet directly to the device that you want. But this is the single 1 gigabit port right here. Like I said, capable of up to a gig of throughput. Again, 5G, take that with a grain of salt. But that's what it's advertised at, so that's what I'm going to tell you it does. Okay, and that's that secondary window, like I said, that you can plug in the external antenna. I'm going to go over here and try to cover up this information, but right here is the nano SIM card slot. It is underneath the battery, people. A lot of people can never find it. It's underneath the battery. So you take the battery out, and then you will see your SIM card slot. And again, it does have a pretty hefty battery. This is the only option out of the group that is capable of running without a power plug. So if you are in a remote location, campers, truckers, RVers, that power is going to be at a bare minimum, this might be the one for you. It has a lot of features, a lot of throughput, and it also has a backup battery. This battery probably could run about 6 to 8 hours, no problem, heavy internet uses. And this right here is just a battery cover I just took off. Okay, finally we have the MoFi5500, the predecessor to the MoFi4500 over there. This is a big upgrade, both in size and features, honestly. Just to give you a quick idea, this is the 4500 and this is the 5500 on top of each other. Pretty big difference. A lot of improvements here though. We're gonna start off with the console port. Unless you're really heavy into networking, you'll never use this. This is just to give you access to the inside of the router using the command line interface. You get 1 gigabit network ports, whereas this guy over here was the 100. This goes up times 10, so you're getting a gig on each port right here. That's great throughput when it comes to a router of any sort. All right, next you got again the backup WAN console. I'm sorry, the backup WAN port, or a backup internet port, we're gonna say. Very great feature here to have. And then on beside it, you have a the reset button, the USB button, the micro SIM card button, and the power button, and the DC power button. This is the DC power features. If you're gonna hardwire it to a vehicle for whatever reason, you can run it with that port right there. You can purchase that as separate accessory from MoFi to actually hardwire it to your car. So when your car turns on, it turns this on. Or we're gonna say car, but more likely this more for like a mobile buzz. People, businesses that do like mobile services that require the internet every time they hit the road. Okay, so these are the ports on the back of it. I'm gonna turn around to the side, and you're gonna see you have a USB 3.0 port and 2 standard SIM card slots. So this thing has redundancy out the yin yang. So let's just say you have a LTE connection with both Verizon and T-Mobile. You can put both cards in right here. T-Mobile and AT&T, both cards right here. You don't have to have 2, but you got the option. So if you just had the 1 SIM card service, AT&T, you could just pop it in slot number 1, and that's all you'll be using. But it does give you the option to have a redundant circuit. So think about it with this particular router. This is why I say it's for more or less businesses, because you got 2 internet connections via LTE and potentially 1 connection with a WAN. So that's like failover on top of failover with this particular router. The antennas you see on either side here are for the 4G LTE service, 4G 5G LTE service, and then the 4 on the back is for your Wi-Fi within inside the organization or building or vehicle. All right. That's pretty much it. Oh, the price range on this one, because it's so new, because it's just a beast. Its current price is somewhere between $500 and $650. Again, depending on where you get it from. If you get it direct from MoFi, I think it's more along about $600. But with shipping and all, I think it comes out to be $650. I could be wrong on that, but it is the most expensive one out of the bunch. But again, if you have a need for these features, then it's definitely a game changer. It's definitely something that you should have. But I definitely think this is probably the 5%ers out there, like businesses that are remote that just need this type of feature set. All right. Okay, next up is the speed test section. I'm going to do it in this order, and I'll also call it out as I go along. But I'm going to start off with the Cuddy, then I'm going to move to the MoFi4500, then the M7 Pro, and then the MoFi5500. I'll do 3 speed tests on each device. One is the 2.4 gigahertz band, then I'll go to the 5.0 gigahertz band, and then finally the hardwire connection. Okay, and what you see here is the Cuddy on the 2.4 gigahertz band. Now we're moving over to the Cuddy on the 5.0 gigahertz band. Here I've switched over to the Cuddy using the hardwired Ethernet port. Alright, next up is the MoFi4500 2.4 gigahertz test. Switching over to the MoFi4500 5.0 gigahertz test. Moving on to the MoFi4500 hardwired Ethernet port connection. Okay, next up is the Nighthawk M7 Pro 2.4 gigahertz band. Alright, now we're switching over to the Netgear Nighthawk M7 Pro 5.0 gigahertz band. Okay, now we're switching over to the Netgear Nighthawk M7 Pro Gigabit Ethernet port. Okay, now we're at our final device. This is the MoFi5500 2.0 gigahertz test. Okay, now we're going to switch over to the MoFi5500 5.0 gigahertz band. All right, now we're switching over to the MoFi5500 hardwire gigabit Ethernet port. All right, everyone. Now we have come to the unfortunate end. I think I've talked enough about these devices. I've given you guys prices, some speed tests, some troubleshooting tips, and just some other information that should help you on your journey. I've told you guys which devices I will get for different scenarios. So I think I've been very informative. And if you think I have been informative, please do me a favor and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button also. And I have a website for geeksake.com where all 4 of these devices can be purchased. And if you already have a device and you just want an unlimited data line for your device, feel free to reach out to me again, cell phone, email, or my website, because I sell those individually as well. I am able to give you a great discount with AT&T and T-Mobile, so I can probably save you some money. Even if you're working directly with AT&T, I probably can save you some money if you switch your unlimited data line to me. Also, if you are in the area with Verizon, I can't help you, but I have a colleague that probably could help you, and I can point you in his direction if you would like me to. Again, I thank you very much for everything you've done for me, all the support, all the love I've gotten throughout the years with this particular subject matter. For Geek Sakes, out, and I appreciate it.